Hi, everyone, and welcome to tonight's episode of the Generational Run podcast. I'm your host, Mads. Today, we have Evan and Alyssa here today to recap the ALDS, and we're going to do a little Q&A, and we'll talk about what moves we want the Yankees to make this off season. So, welcome to the show, both of you.
Thank you.
Hey.
Okay, let me open these comments. All right, so
My
let's
kid is
first. Oh, I hear the baby in the back. First, let's talk about the ALDS. It was bad.
Was not
What are your
great.
guys' thoughts? I think there were so many things
Garbage.
that went wrong. Yeah.
I think game one, okay, whatever. Game one, coming off the wild card series, obviously facing a team in Toronto that was off and rested, which people weigh the pros and cons of being off for a week and not playing for a week. But obviously the biggest pro is that you're rested and all your pitchers are rested. Okay, so game one, throw out the window, happens. The second game I thought was iffy because I didn't get starting Ben Rice against Savage when, in my opinion, Savage has a better splitter than Gosman, especially after not even seeing Savage, never faced him, obviously. And I don't think Ben Rice could hit a splitter that series if you told him it was coming. And obviously, Savage has reverse splits where righties hit him significantly better than lefties. So I thought it started there with the lineup. So that's why I don't think that's why we obviously lost game two. It's obviously not having the starter you want in, not trusting Heel in his command and his control.
Right.
So it all spirals when you don't have what you need.
Yeah, I think game one was a shit show, and I think they did absolutely nothing to help themselves in game two. They used the same lineup, knowing, again, that Savage had a really good splitter. Ben Rice was not going to hit off of it, but they chose to start him anyway. They just did absolutely nothing to help themselves in that second game. I mean, they're lucky that they won that third game. That would have been such a horrible loss to get swept by them. And I think I feel like they're doing nothing to help themselves. They just keep using the same lineups, the same, defensive alignment, the same reasoning for why they're doing what they're doing, and it's not working, and they're not doing anything to change it, which is annoying.
I thought we'd win the game against Savage. I didn't know he was that good. I didn't know the splitter was that good. But, I mean, the same lineup 2 days in a row, I don't see a point. Especially if you lost the day before with that same lineup. Why do it again? But, I mean, game
Right.
3, we got lucky. So, I mean, we had a great pitcher. So, I think that's the only reason we really got by.
Yeah, and I think Rodon played really well on Tuesday when he pitched. Toronto just hits. They just have that lineup where every single person 1 to 9 in that lineup can hit the ball. It's not like the Yankees who they just hit home runs. They don't. It's so much harder for them to get on base for whatever reason. And I think Rodon did a great job. I just think it was Toronto. You can't really do anything about that.
Yeah. It's not that I'm disagreeing with you. I personally, and this is like talked about by some accounts on Twitter, is when you have a pitcher like Rodon who coming over from the Giants and in his time in Chicago, he was pumping 97 like out of the gates, like with those teams. Obviously coming here, started with like the back issues that nobody somehow knew about. And then he got into the comfort zone of, which is fine, of starting off on lower velocity, sitting 92, 93. But a team like Toronto who doesn't strike out much, makes contact, puts the ball in play, you're not going to be able to get by with, especially with his command issues at time, leaving 92 over the plate. And that home run to Vlad was a changeup, middle part of the zone, a little like towards the outside of the plate, but still in the spot, like the middle, and to hang like an 84-mile-per-hour changeup to a hitter
I agree.
who owned us his whole career.
He's a
Yeah.
three-headed monster. I don't see why we didn't walk him more often. Why, when first base is open, why are we letting him bat?
It's that
Someone's
and
on
the
second
starting
base and you're
pitching.
letting this dude swing.
Yeah. Our starting pitching just imploded. It was just so awful. Like I would have never expected Max Fried to have the game he had. I really didn't expect Carlos to
They
have the
were
game he
unprepared.
had. Yeah, but like these guys are there's your supposed aces. They're the ones that you want on the mound. They're the ones that you trust, and they're just not doing that, which is it's not good.
Yeah, Freed has never had good postseason numbers. Obviously, you want that to change when he takes the mound for you, but you have to understand his past history in the postseason. And he's
Yeah.
pitched for an Atlanta team where he's won a ring with them, and obviously pitched in the World Series and had a good game that
That's
ended
why
up
it didn't
winning
make
the
any
World
sense to me as to why he did so bad. How'd you win a ring if it's that bad? That's what I don't get. I trusted him. I did.
It's
He's got the ring to prove it.
it's also like more of the fact that Toronto is such a good bat to ball team.
Yeah.
You know, it's
They just hit.
he pitched like that Ernie Clement home run that I I don't know how. I mean, Ernie Clement's a great player. Obviously, I'm not trying to get that past him, but that swing that he had the home run off Reed, I don't know how that left. It was obviously hit at the right spot and hit off at the right angle, but things just start to.
He got
He
lucky.
ends up giving up 7. Obviously, 7 not on him when Warren gets put in the game and giving up the runs that Freed left on base. But it's just Toronto's just a good bat to ball team, and they're going to make you play defense.
Agreed. And the cheating scandal. Everyone was like, Toronto's cheating. I don't understand. What is okay, I didn't understand, but what is this thing that everyone's saying that there was like a camera or something? There's
I
no way
thought
that's true.
so. Because they do so well at Rogers Center. And I was one of that thought that because when just go back and watch the games that they played at home. Like how do you just have that monstrous of a swing? Your guys that are hitting 180 in the regular season are knocking balls into center field over the fence. How? They're just magically prepared? I mean, I did my research
But
and I realized I was an idiot for it, but how does that happen?
it's more
Luck
of
or practice?
you're you're taking like again a team like Toronto who's not going to swing and miss, and if they do, it's not going to
Yeah.
be with 2 strikes because they're a great 2-strike hitting team. But it's also you playing 81 games a year at a stadium where you start to get comfortable with the batter's eye. You start
Right.
to
Yeah.
get especially against a team that you're facing 13 times a season like the Yankees. It's not like Seattle was in our spot and going into Toronto to play. Toronto faced us, who they're used to during the regular season, which gives them a little bit more of an
Yeah.
edge. And especially playing at home, they're just used to seeing the ball well coming out of the pitcher's hand with the batter's eye.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of the whole like everyone online was like the Toronto's cheating, Toronto's cheating. They're not cheating. They're a good team. And then I had
It just
people who were
seemed like they
saying,
were putting up crazy numbers. Like crazy numbers.
but the truth is right now the Yankees aren't that good. They're not the Yankees that played in the 90s and the 2000s. They're not that team. They don't have those capabilities right now. And so when people watch them play and see that in person, like they get upset, and I think they're just deflecting that onto the other teams. That they're not cheating. It's just
Maybe.
can't.
I think we
No,
just
they're
have high
not cheating.
expectations for the Yankees. For a team that's won 27 rings, the fan base obviously is going to think that they're unstoppable year after year. And I think that's what I sat and thought about. I was like, we have high expectations because this team has done nothing but win most of our lives and before we were born for our parents. So naturally, our fan base is going to think that these guys should win every single year and think that the other team's doing some crazy crap because we're not winning all of a sudden.
Yeah. All right, so let's get into the little Q&A that I have. I asked all of the people on Twitter to ask us questions, and we got some good ones. Um, so let's start with why errors have plagued your team over the last 2 seasons with no improvement, and if there are any defining moments that you'd like to see more of.
Errors wise, this series, this series, I don't think you could blame this series on errors. You could look at the Jazz play, which he would tell you he has to make 99 out of 100 times. It did it take a bad bounce? Yeah, that was an unfortunate bounce. It came off the bat hot. Um, Other than that, it's I think this year, especially in the playoffs, they did a great job of limiting the errors. But you
I
could
think
look
so
back.
too.
What game was it? You could look back. It was the second game, free game. The ball. It was. I think it was Varshall's ball down the right field line where Judge cuts it off, but doesn't cut it off. Falls into the wall. Like leans into it and ends up being a triple.
Mm-hmm.
So, and do you say there? Well, if it's not a triple, the home run's not given up. But at the end of the day, the home run was given up. So that error means nothing because if Judge cuts it off, the home run still hit. It's a 2-run game either way. But I think before that, they cleaned up the defense well. They saw what holes they had, and they cleaned it up at third base and getting Jazz back to second. Volpe cleaned it up. Goldschmidt, veteran, has Gold Gloves.
Mm-hmm.
I think they've realized that the defense was iffy and they worked on it.
Yeah, I agree. I just think as a whole, the team just lacks fundamentals, and I think that's a pretty known thing at this point. You know, you're not throwing to the right base. You're trying to make throws too quickly. Volpe throws, over the first baseman's head. It goes into the wall. It's a free base for the runner. It's They just don't have the fundamentals, which is weird. They just seem to not have them like the other teams do. But I think that they did work on it for the wild card and the division series because there really weren't that many errors. I will give it to Jazz that and you're right, Evan, that the ball was hit hard. He didn't get too good of a read on it. I mean, you do have to make that play at the end of the day, but he was still there. You know,
Yeah, it's more of a what you would like to see is him getting a better read and getting his whole body in front of the ball instead of trying to, scoop it up with the one arm on the side. So obviously the read needs to be better that he gets in front of the ball, and if it gets by him like that, he just knocks it down with his chest and probably gets an out. So, but again, it's a play he probably makes 99% of the time, and the one time he didn't was just in a spot where it's going to be magnified.
right. Okay, this one was funny.
Oh my god, bro.
I'll let you guys can fight this one out.
I'd probably give it to Alyssa. She probably likes Cam more than I like Dominguez.
Mm.
I'd probably give it to her.
I mean, I would say so.
I don't
I
really
would say
post
that I'm
about
like
Dominguez.
not the average fan. I feel like
Yeah,
every
I
other thing
think.
that I post is about Cam.
Yeah, but you know what? Cam has you've chatted with Cam. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I wasn't expecting that. That was a crazy thing. I
That would
opened
be
my
like,
phone and I was like, whoa, 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 hold on.
yeah, that would. She texted me at like midnight last night and was like, "Mads, Mads." I was sleeping and I woke up and I'm like, "Oh my God, I thought someone died." And she's like, "You're never gonna believe this." And it was just a picture of the chat of her and Cam Schlittler.
Yeah, no. I went out for like 20 minutes. I was like mad as hell about the Yankees. I wanted to just go drive. Like that's how I calm myself down as I go drive. I come back. Now I have my Twitter DMs muted. I open it up and I see Cam. I'm like, all right, no way. And I was like, oh yes, way. And then he answered my second message too about Boston. And
It's
yeah,
only a
he
matter
has
of
seen
time before you
everything
get
that
the
I've
follow.
posted.
yeah.
I know. We're so close.
I took Dominguez lover just because I always thought like Dominguez was just like a funny guy. Like,
Yeah,
obviously, I think he's a great. I think he needs more playing time if they're not going to trade him.
agreed.
But obviously, his defense is like I don't even know what I'm watching at times with his defense. But I don't know. I just thought he was like a funny guy to be around. So that's just why I took the name.
I love it. I'm boring. I went with my name. Okay, let's do.
Hey, you're Universal.
How
I can never rebrand now. Oh my.
How will
Impact. I mean, I think he'll be good. I don't think he's gonna be full potential because the Tommy John. Nobody is great after Tommy John, so I think everyone's got to give him some leeway. Don't be too judgmental. And I think Will Warren, see ya. Bullpen or traded.
I think he goes to the bullpen.
Who?
Will
I
Warren.
think so.
Will Warren should be shipped off to a prison. He's horrible at baseball. I
That's him
think
or Luis Hill.
Cole will
Yeah, which one do you want in the bullpen? Will Warren or Luis Heel?
heal.
I guess I don't really care as long as Mark Leiter's off my team.
Heal
I want them
should have the
both,
edge
all
over
three off
Warren.
my team. Mr. Walks a lot or Mr. Home Run. Pick your poison.
I think. Well, Cole's not going to be ready at the start of the season.
I think they said April
It's
or May
June
for
that he
him.
comes back.
Yeah. So
June
I
fully
mean,
in the rotation.
the first sign you're obviously looking at is how he is after, because obviously the first few starts after coming back from Tommy John is what you're looking at. But this isn't like a pitcher. This is a Hall of Fame pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
This is somebody who is a seasoned veteran who has a Cy Young, who will work. Like, okay, if I'm not going to throw 99 anymore to start, I'm going to make my curveball that much better. So I think he's at the age where he's gonna be able to work on his secondary pitches, or he's gonna do things to help him look better. And I think if you look at a player like Ohtani, pitching wise, Ohtani's had 2 Tommy Johns already, and he's touching 101.
Mm-hmm.
So they're obviously
Then that gives me hope. Honestly, that does.
so. And there is pitchers that come back from Tommy John and are significantly better and throwing faster. So, and I think Cole is just a Hall of Fame seasoned pitcher where he's going to be able to work things out. And I don't think he'll be horrible. I think he'll be Cole when he comes back. And obviously that's all you need. Home. That's my guy.
Yeah, I agree. I think I don't think he's going to be, the Garrett Cole that we have known for the past few years, but I do think he's going to do whatever he can to get himself back there in a timely manner. But you know what? Just having Cole back in that rotation, I think, is better than having Luis Heel and Will Warren in there. I just think him being there makes the rotation better. Even if he's not going to be 100% when he comes back for the first time in the first, however many starts. But the lineup's going to be significantly better with him in it.
Yeah, and I think
would hope so.
if you're choosing, if the decision comes down to Warren or Heel out of the pen, or somebody getting if one of those two pitchers has to come out of the pen, it has to be Heel. I think just with the velocity and when he's on and his changeup's working, that's what you want out of him. Because if he's touching 99 and then could work that changeup down in the zone, I think it's just much better than what Will Warren will have to offer you.
He's just got to work on his location, and then he's all right. He walks too many batters. It is working, Danny.
No, your camera's not on.
Oh, wait, hold on. Let me fix it. Is it better?
No, it's a black screen.
Well, that's fine. I
It's
don't know how
okay.
to fix
We can hear you. It's okay.
I don't know how to fix it.
Okay, so I have a lot of comments that are like, who are we going to re-sign? I'm just going to show a couple of them because a lot of people just want to know like off-season stuff. Would you re-sign Grisham?
No.
Me
No.
neither.
God.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
He had a good
Regular
run
season
from,
Russian, okay.
April to June. No, he wasn't even good at the end of the year. It was like April to June. You know what? If
Yeah,
he can
no,
play
you're right.
better on a different team, then let him get the playing time on another team. We
I
have
think
other priorities.
I think you look at it like towards the last 2 months of the season, he became like a Stanton in a way. It's like where
Mhm.
it's like you're getting either a strikeout or a homer, which is whatever. And then you look at his postseason, and it's like this is the second time in his postseason career in which poor play is what's going to follow him. If you look at the wild card series when Soto was on the Nationals and they played in the wild card, and it was Milwaukee and Washington, and Grisham had that play where the ball goes under his glove with the bases loaded and Soto up, that followed him to San Diego. And then he had a good wild card series against the Mets when he was in San Diego. But then he comes here and has a 153 average in the playoffs. So I think it's just he's not a player where you're like, you tell him thank you for what you did regular season,
Mhm.
go somewhere else.
Yeah. It was good while it lasted. Um, Unbiased Sox fan wants to know when you're running MLB The Show.
Uh, when you can get Cutter to play with us, we could play again.
Okay, this one, I really liked this question.
Who's available, manager-wise?
Yeah, there's not too many guys. That's the thing. It's like,
I know, who else would you want?
who,
And I think
who
I
would
don't
I
want
want? Like,
I don't want Boone to come back, but that's also a front office problem. If you want Boone gone, you also need Cashman to go because if you get rid of Boone, they're going to hire another Boone. They're going to hire another puppet, someone who's going to, you know, suck up to the general manager. You need to completely clean house.
I can't tell you like available like on the market available on the market or like available where I could just pick
You
and
could
choose.
just pick and choose. Who would you want to manage if Aaron Boone wasn't the manager
Kevin
anymore?
Cash.
Oh,
Yeah.
Mariano Rivera.
I'd be fine with him or like Posada. I think they would be really good as well. I do like Kevin Cash though.
Give me CC Sabathia.
Because I always go back and forth with Boone because there were some games in the playoffs from like, wow, he like managed the shit out of this game.
Yeah.
And then there's some games where it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah. It's like he
So,
just forgets how to manage sometimes. But then
and
again, I agree. Other times it's like he's just one step ahead of the other team, like in the wild card series, game 3, when like with Cam and everything, like he knew what he was doing.
yeah, and but like, I don't want to say he's bad. I don't want to say he's a bad manager because I really don't think he's a bad manager. I just don't think he's a Yankees manager.
That's a good way to put it. I like that.
I don't think, like, I think if you put him, with another team, it's like, okay, like he's a good manager, but I don't think in a city like New York, I don't think you want your manager to be everybody's friend to the point where like you obviously want your players to like him, which everybody in the Yankees likes Boone. But again, do they like him to the point where they feel too comfortable, where they get complacent on the field? Like, oh, I'm not scared of the consequences if I mess up. But I
Honestly,
don't think
maybe.
he's a
They might
horrible.
just see him as like a friend.
When I played sports in high school, whatever, college even, it's just like my coaches were tougher on me than than I think Aaron Boone is on them.
Yeah. Oh, he's watching right now. Okay.
How do you know?
Yeah, and
I agree. I think that's a good point.
I think if we were a team like the Reds, for example, if we were in a position like the Reds and Boone was our manager, it's like, all right, he got us there. Like, he did his job. Our job, make the playoffs. But when you're going on close to 10 years of one World Series appearance, and in that appearance you got embarrassed, then I think you could obviously blame the players, but who's coaching the players? right? Who's the
Right.
one holding them accountable? So I think it has to base off
Right.
that.
And I think we also see that during the regular season too. If people are making errors, like Volpe went through a stretch where it was just an error every single game,
Yeah.
and they weren't. Because I know some of the former Yankee managers who would have said, "All right, you're either benched for the rest of the game or you don't play tomorrow," and
And
every
then
day for the next week, Volpe was on that lineup card. They didn't do anything about that.
and it was
Like clockwork.
there was that situation last year with Glaber
Mm-hmm.
when Glaber finally got benched in the middle of the game for messing up, and then you're like, okay, he benched him, but now where does he draw the line? Because there was
Yeah.
players that did a lot worse than Glaber in games and stayed in there. So I don't know, it's iffy, but if he's back, I wouldn't be surprised. If he's gone, I don't know who they would go to.
I like that.
Is my camera working now? I tried to fix it.
Nope. We can hear you, but we can't see you.
Chances of
I
Dominguez
keep trying.
chances of Dominguez getting a full season and realistic trades or signing. Chances of Dominguez getting a full season is probably at a whopping 0%.
I think they need to either let him go to a different team where he will get playing time, or they need to put him in the field because
I
he's
think
not
the
going to get any
possibility
better.
of him getting traded is a lot higher than him getting a full season. But
I'd say
then again, him getting a
25%
full
chance of him
season,
being on the field.
him getting a full season depends on what they do with Bellinger and Grisham.
Yeah.
Because if you're playing him, are you saying, okay, go figure out left field? Or are you going to be like, okay, go to your normal position in center and see how you play out there? Because he's a horrible left fielder.
Yeah, it's really bad.
I mean,
But
I
if you
see
don't get
Bellinger
out
coming
there,
back.
me too.
You'd put him in center then. I feel like he would just take Grisham's spot if we keep him. So I would say it's a 25% chance that he stays. It really depends on if we get Kyle Tucker or anyone else that's on the market. But I think that we do
But
get Bellinger.
Then again, with Dominguez, though, it's Tim and Jones. It's like, which one are you playing? You can't have both because
Right.
you're not playing either of them. So what are you going to have them fight it out again for a spot? Not even a spot, like a spot on the bench.
Yeah, that's not fair.
So I think one of them has to be moved. And I think if they're moving one, they're going to move Dominguez.
Yeah, I agree. And
I mean, only because he
Cody
didn't get
can
much
play
time.
first base too. Cody doesn't need to play the outfield. He can also play first. I doubt we'll sign Goldschmidt again. I think he'll either retire or he'll go to another team.
Let Goldschmidt walk into the sunset.
Yeah.
Enjoy your retirement, buddy.
Or give him one more good year with the Cardinals, and that's it. Like, just
you retire with them.
give him one good year with the Cardinals. He's not coming back to the Yankees. So we have Ben Rice at first. I think we could talk about this more after. I have a couple more questions. I don't know how to pronounce his name. The person who's coming from Japan, Murakami. Yeah.
No,
He said he'd either want to sign with the West Coast team or the Yankees. So he could play first and third base. So that's another option for first base. But for the outfield, I think if they go for Kyle Tucker, obviously they're not keeping Grisham. What are they going to do with Dominguez? I think there's so many moving parts to this, and I'm curious to see what they're going to do.
Maybe pitching.
I think
probably relief pitching.
Tucker has to be your priority. And outfield wise, he has. I think I said this to you guys before. I think if it's between Tucker and Bellinger, you go after Tucker. Tucker's been the more consistent player. And even if you look at this year, he played through a hand injury and put up like above average player numbers. He's been the more consistent player. And if you look at if you look at his playoff numbers, okay, then look at Bellinger's.
Yeah.
So you got to pick your poison with who you trust. And I think I would trust Tucker to get better in the postseason before Bellinger.
That's true. Yeah. Some part of me feels like we're going to end up with both. I don't know.
I think so too.
I really
but then you
do.
really would trade Dominguez.
That's just
true.
That's just a lot of lefties.
You're gonna have to rebrand if they trade Dominguez.
Kyle
Spencer
Tucker was
Jones era is coming soon for
Yeah,
you.
again, what do you do with Spencer Jones? You're gonna have to bring him up at some point. You can't let him
Spencer
rot
Jones
forever.
is horrible at
Give him
baseball.
a shot.
He's not horrible. What are you
Spencer
talking
Jones is
about?
No,
Spencer
I
Jones.
seen him in AAA. His
He
fielding
will.
ability is fantastic.
He's not going to be a good major league player. I think they
He's
missed their
home run or
chance to
nothing.
trade him.
Bookmark this.
You could bookmark it. I think they missed their best opportunity to trade
His
him
walk-up song is
when his value
revolving
was that
door.
high.
I want him up there.
I think the injuries. I think he's going to be an injury-prone player. I don't think it's bad. I think he strikes out way too much for his age. You know, it's one thing if he's 23 and you're like, okay, we could work on it, but is he like 26 now?
Yeah.
I think he's
you know what? You have
25
to
or
bring him up at some
26.
point. Yeah, he is. You have to bring him up at some point.
Or
So if you're
trade
not going to
him.
bring
But
him
who would
up
you get
or
for
trade
him?
him, Paul Skeens.
For what though? Pitch. We don't need a starter because we have Cole coming back. You have Schmidt
could
coming back in 2027.
you could 100% get another starter because
Yeah.
if you look at teams
And
that
replace who? Luis Hill?
if you look at teams that go far, it's the one thing is you can never have too much starting pitching because
Right.
that's when you're like you have to prepare for an injury from your starters.
Look at the Dodgers in 2024. Their entire
Yeah.
pitching staff was like just non-existent. Like we can always use another starter.
But don't
I think
they
if
run a
Spencer
6-man
Jones,
though? They run a 6-man.
so we would have Cole, Fried, Rodon, Schlittler. We'll get Clark back at some point, and then that leaves Heel and Warren. So that's technically
2027.
That's 7 starters, but not all of those people are going to be in the rotation.
Yeah, 2 of said starters should belong in AA right now.
Yeah, I agree with that, Nick. You can't hoard prospects and then refuse to trade or play them.
They're literally gatekeeping him.
That's what they do.
But
Love
then
our
why did we
prospects so
not
much.
trade him?
They love their prospects so much they're not going to play or trade them. That's their motto.
They said that he was off the
ridiculous.
table for a reason though, because we're doing nothing with him.
Dominguez?
So we missed out on we missed out on Spencer Jones because they took him off the table. Dominguez was too, and then Lombard and Cam Schlittler.
Well,
So why are we prospect hugging if we're not going to do anything with any of them?
they held on to Jones because I don't think they liked any of the trades that teams were asking for.
That, and I think it came right,
Fair
like the
point.
trade deadline, Judge was injured. I think they were holding on to Jones for the chance that Judge couldn't come back. It was like a UCL tear.
Well, they had that. There was like a proposal on the table that if Judge needed surgery, they were going to sell. Like that came out. The Yankees would sell if Judge needed surgery, and there was a proposal
So who?
for Grisham for Beatty.
I did see that
Oh
one.
my!
So they were ready to sell, which rightfully so they should have if Judge needed surgery. You sell immediately. But obviously, thankfully, that wasn't the case.
Yeah.
Brett Beatty would have been a nice piece though. You never know because he's pretty good.
Yeah. All right. So the other questions that I have are basically all just, do they re-sign this person? What do they do with this person? What are your off-season moves? So we can go down like sort of the list of the players that are going to be free agents. What's your ideal off-season? That's with the people that are going to be free agents. Like, what's your ideal moves?
You let Luke Weaver walk. Goodbye.
Agree.
Thank you, but no.
Listen, he had a good run. He's like Trent Grisham. He had a great run in 2024. He got injured. They brought him back too early. His time is up. He has to go somewhere else.
Yeah, he had no rehab or nothing.
You decline Loizaca's option. Goodbye. Go somewhere else. He's
still on that Phantom IL.
You accept Tim Hill's option.
Mm-hmm.
That team option you let Grisham walk. Goodbye. Then I think it comes down to because Tucker and Bellinger both have Boris as an agent. So I think you talk to him and get the asking price for both. And what I'm afraid they'll do is go Bellinger's route because he's cheaper. And he should be cheaper. But I think, like I said, if it comes down to, like, we can only get one, you have to get Kyle Tucker. And you make that happen. And I think you try for Murakami, but then it turns out, what are you going to do? Because you have McMahon. And what are you going to bench McMahon? You can't bench McMahon because his defense is a platinum glove defense at third. And
his offense concerns me, though.
And you also have his contract. You didn't get his contract to sit him on the bench. And then what do you do with Rice?
Also, exactly, where do you put him?
Because then Murakami's a lefties. So then you have two lefties playing first. So I think that's why they won't try as hard for Murakami. Well, I think his bat plays well at the stadium. I think their biggest concerns this offseason is going to be the outfield, get the outfield situated, and then get the bullpen situated. So I think they're going to look for bullpen arms in the outfield before they do anything infield-wise, because I think Rice already solidified the starting first base job, and then you cannot have you just have to put McMahon out there because of his defense.
Yeah, and you also, like, I was thinking about it today, you also have Oswaldo Cabrera, who will come back. What do you do with him? Because he was, switching between him and Peraza for third base. So that's another guy you have in there. You have Caballero, you have Rosario, you have Slater. What do we do with these guys? Is Volpe going to come back?
Goodbye, Slater.
No,
yeah,
I think we shop for a shortstop. I think we are shopping for a shortstop. It's been 3 years.
We have one, though. We just got
years.
We just got Caballero. I don't think shortstop would be as big of a priority.
No, that's.
I mean,
shortstop,
if Volpe goes to AAA, then you need someone else there too.
They're not going to shop.
No way he's on the major league roster. No way.
They're not going to shop shortstop because Volpe started every game in the divisional series, so obviously that's your guy. Second, Bo Bichette. This team is going. The fans are going to send him death threats. I don't think they get it. If you get Bo Bichette, he will commit 30 errors at shortstop. Why? I get it. But you want a shortstop who could hit.
I just don't want Bo Bichette.
I would rather have a hitter than a defender because I have enough trust in our starting pitching. I have enough trust. I do.
I would agree if it wasn't a shortstop position. Okay, you want to take a risk
second,
with shaky.
I'm pretty sure, though.
If you want to take a risk at second with shaky defense, but you have Jazz there, but let's just say you could get away with shaky defense at second at times. But if your shortstop is committing 20-something errors in a season, he will literally be getting death threats if he became a Yankee.
Yeah.
They're just – and Volpe could be your starting shortstop if the offense around him is playing.
This is funny. Yeah, pretty much.
And I think it stems from Cashman literally saying Volpe's our guy.
Yeah.
You took
he said it so many times.
You took the risk on him drafting, and I don't think he wants to say I was wrong.
Yeah.
Because you missed out on Seager because of him. You missed out on Corey Seager, arguably like the fifth best shortstop in the league. When he's healthy, you could argue he's number one. But
I think Cashman will do whatever he can to not admit he's wrong.
So
you've seen him. There's so many interviews. They're like heckling him outside of the stadium, and he's like, "Volpe's our guy. He's our starting shortstop. He's the shortstop of the future. We have so much trust in him."
But when is enough gonna be enough? It's been 3 years.
It's the accountability. You keep making these errors, and you keep being let on the field. There has to be a point where someone says, "Listen, you can't be on the field because all you're doing is making errors."
Well, his defense got better.
It did.
Into a
You
new
guys
catcher or first? Yes, Pete Alonso.
look at
I
the new
would,
catcher.
absolutely. His bat is good.
Um, I do think Wells is a question,
I do too.
just because he was hitting a lot better towards the end of the season, and I think going into the offseason, what he has to work on is facing left-handed pitching, but facing breaking balls from a left-handed pitcher.
Okay.
Every slider basically or curveball from a lefty to Wells is a swing and miss or a take. So I think he has to get better at reading that. And yeah, I mean, if Alonso's available, I wouldn't mind shooting an offer towards Alonso.
Yeah. I
His
think
defense is not star, but the bat is. That's the thing about
Pete's,
Alonso is that the defense
yeah.
is not and anywhere near like a Goldschmidt or Ben Rice type deal, but he gets the job done. And as far as Wells, I think he needs to stop swinging at stuff that is in the popcorn stand, and then we're good. He'll be fine.
Yeah. I also think I think they should give Wells a few more games maybe at leadoff. He was the leadoff guy at the beginning of the year, and he did hit a few home runs as the leadoff man. And then they never went back to it. Was that like a fluke thing, or
Fluke.
Is it something that's worth revisiting? You don't think so?
No, I think they construct their lineup wrong. So I think the only way you get off with a leadoff hitter in a different way is the Phillies with Schwarber. Okay, if your leadoff hitters, well, it was Turner also let off a few games, but majority was Schwarber. If your leadoff hitters hitting 56 homers, okay, because that's 56 homers, and he walks a decent amount, and he gets his singles at times. But I think if you're the Yankees, if your leadoff hitter is not mashing, look, what Grisham did was great regular season, okay, but you need a consistent on base guy because that's who you want in front of Judge. So I think if you're go out, get a leadoff hitter that is getting on base, drawing walks, hitting singles. And I think that's what they wanted Volpe to be, but his bat is just not good.
I would put Ben Rice there then on occasion. Depends on the pitching matchup, of course, but he gets on base. He has hit several clutch base hits. I don't see why not put him there, but I mean, then again, he's not experienced enough with some pitching matchups to be able to be there long term.
Well, that statement that just
That's
came
where you
through,
bring Alonso into it veteran.
the Wells statement that just came through, 94 WRC plus is, yeah, that's below league average. So, I mean, your league average is 100. So, I mean, again, I think the bat is there with Wells. I just think it's the breaking balls out and down that he needs to work on because he's shown last year in that 2-month hot stretch that he had towards the end of the season. The bat's obviously there. I just think it's things he's got to work on in the offseason.
Yeah. And you know what? He's one of the best framing catchers in the league, and I think that that's something that you're not going to find as easily if we went for a different catcher. Even Ben Rice. Ben Rice is an okay catcher for backup, but you don't want him to be your main guy. I would much rather have Wells
And
as the main one.
And I think you have to look into another catcher because if Ben's solidifying your first base role, you're not going to have Wells playing every day. And if you're not looking at a backup catcher, then you have to get a backup first baseman because if Rice goes to play catcher, you're going to need a backup for one of them, and preferably somebody that can give you quality at bats and play good defense.
What do you guys think they're going to do about Escara?
So we have
the
a
third
star
lefty catcher. Exactly.
Yeah, see?
Buns. He's
Triple A. I think he's going back to Scranton.
He's too old. Buns.
That's my Shayla. I love him.
He looks
I don't want him to go. Yeah, he does.
He looks like he's like
such
21. I don't know he was old.
My friend at work, she absolutely loves JC Escara and she loves his smile. And so anytime he's on the TV, his very few starts that he got, she's like, "Oh my God, he's smiling. I just love that smile." It's just so cute.
Yes, his
that
swing is literally
cut
Aaron
it, though,
Hicks'
when you're
swing.
trying to win a ring.
I know. Don't burst my bubble.
Oh, what an error that was. I mean, yeah, I think he's going back down to Scranton. But I mean, if anything, they
Trade him.
probably leave him up if they go for a first
Why
baseman
not
and not a
trade him?
catcher.
Yeah,
What is
I
he
agree.
worth
Trade
though?
him.
What's he worth?
He's a very good
Put
defensive.
him and
He's
Spencer
a very
Jones in
good
a
framer.
package, actually.
He could frame very well, and teams like
Yeah.
backup catchers.
I think the Padres inquired about him over either someone inquired about him this trade deadline, but then I know that
Yeah, the
last year the
Padres
Yankees
looked at him
they were holding on to him.
because when we were discussing like the Cease trade, I think the Padres
Yeah,
was looking for like a backup catcher, and teams
yeah.
like backup catchers.
But then I feel like last year another team, like in last year's offseason, like with Soto and everything, I think a different team wanted him, and I don't know who it was, but I know I saw something and it said like the Yankees are holding on to him. Like, so I think he
Maybe it
would
was
have good value.
the Diamondbacks, maybe for Suarez, or was that another package I was
That was
thinking about?
this, I don't know,
Because they
something
wanted a
last
lot of people.
offseason. That's two different teams that like, the Padres and the other one, I don't know which one it was, but that has to say something that, when you have these teams interested, I think if you can give another team a backup catcher, get something good in return, even if it's, signing money, whatever it is, and he gets playing time, it's good for both sides.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's going to be an interesting offseason because you also have. I'm just curious to see where all of these people are going to go. You have a few big names. You have Schwarber, right? You have Pete Alonso. You have Bregman. Bo Bichette. You have Cody Bellinger. There's just all these big names. I'm just very curious to see where they're all going to go.
Well,
Schwarber is 100% going back to the Phillies.
I
There's
think so
no way
too.
they don't sign him for a massive deal. No
Who do you
way.
guys think like the Juan
Alonso's
Soto
probably
is
going
this
back to the
year?
Mets. Pete
Tucker.
Alonso.
Okay, I think Tucker, but I could see Pete Alonso too. I feel like the Mets are gonna sign him. I think he's gonna get that lifetime contract from them.
Probably.
I can't see him leaving the Mets.
I think people
I see
underlook.
Tucker coming to us, though.
People severely underlook how good Kyle Tucker is. This is a guy who's at the time we were discussing the trade for him over the offseason with Heel in the package, he was a guy who's finished in top 5 MVP votings, has a silver slugger, has a ring. He was the second closest thing for the age-wise to Soto. When Judge was in center field last season, he was arguably the second best right fielder in baseball. It's just he's not talked about.
Yeah.
But people severely underrate how good Kyle Tucker is. And I expect him to get around the same contract money-wise that Vlad got, close to it, because he's just that good.
Yeah. And if Steve Cohen wants him, Steve Cohen's gonna get him.
Where do you see
There's
him
no
going?
shortage of funds there.
No,
I
don't
think
say that. Don't say that.
I'm gonna say it. Steve Cohen has
Do
deep
not say
pockets.
that.
If he wants someone, he's going to go after them. You know that.
So where
There's
do
no
you think
room.
Tucker winds up? The Mets?
No, I think Grisham winds up with the Mets. And I think they have Brandon Nimmo on left, Soto and
So who
right.
do you think lands Tucker?
I think the best
No,
chances.
I think the
the
Yankees
three
land
teams,
Tucker.
I think the 3 teams with the
I
best
think
chances
so too. Or the Cubs get him back.
is Cubs, Dodgers, or Yankees.
Okay.
The Dodgers.
Dodgers?
I forgot how many years Teoscar's contract was there. It might have been just a 1-year deal to go back, but he's not a good defender in right Teoscar. They need a right fielder, and
They will
Tucker.
never stop winning if they get Kyle Tucker.
Tucker is that.
Is
Tucker's
this guy a Phillies fan?
Stop winning.
Tucker could be a
No,
Philly.
Jared, he is a Giants fan. He's a Giants fan.
Tucker could easily be a Philly because
See you
Castellanos
opening
hates
day,
Philly.
buddy.
Castellanos has not actively said it, but you can tell in his attitude he does not like his manager. And Nick Castellanos is one of the worst defensive right fielders in the league. And his bat is questionable at times. So, yeah, Tucker could be a Philly if they don't get Schwarber back. But I think
I think they're going to
Where do
get
you think
Schwarber
he
back. I think
wants
the
to
Mets are
go,
going to get
though?
Alonso. Who? Tucker?
Yeah,
I
I
don't
don't think
know.
he's
I
openly
think
said where he wants
I
to
think
play.
Tucker saw what Soto did with the short porch and wants to give it a try.
Good
I'm all
point.
for it. I'm
That
all
short
for it.
porch is a
And I
stat
think
pad
Tucker
merchant.
knows the Yankees actively tried to trade for him.
Yeah.
So he's not going into the offseason like,
Hear
oh,
me
which
out,
team?
though.
Obviously, every team wants him, but he knows the Yankees
Him and
wanted him.
Bellinger.
It's,
Imagine they talk and they want to rekindle and be teammates again, though. So hear me out. They played together. Imagine that they bring that energy to the Bronx. That might be electric.
I think we're getting both. I think both of them are going to be Yankees.
Tucker and Bellinger didn't
And
play
then we get a
together.
ring.
No, Tucker and
Easily.
they didn't play together.
They didn't play together?
No.
No, they have the same agent.
I thought they
But they
did.
didn't.
No.
No.
The reason
That's
the
what
Cubs
it was.
got
Yeah.
the reason
So
the Cubs got
them and
Tucker is
Soto
because they
do.
let go of Cody. Because they
Yeah.
traded Cody.
Yeah, that's the agent I'm thinking about. That might be a problem though, because that's Soto's agent. I
Well,
think
listen,
that's the
Scott
only
Boris
issue
is
with
gonna
both
he's
of them
gonna look
is
for the most amount of
him.
money no matter what.
Alonso has Scott Boris.
They all he's monopolizing the industry.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
So.
Good for him. It's a great business strategy, but then for the fans it's like, ugh. Like just
I mean, for the teams, it's probably awful because the negotiation process is probably just terrible.
Yeah,
that has to be hard. But you know what? In the end, you're gonna get the most money. Like that's what they want.
Tucker will be a Yankee. You could bookmark that.
I'm bookmarking it. I think
I'm gonna bookmark that.
Kyle Tucker, all 1,100 people that are watching this right now, Kyle Tucker is a Yankee.
I would go to DraftKings at the end of the season,
Go to
FanDuel, whatever you have, wherever you could find where he lines up,
DraftKings.
you could put it Kyle Tucker becoming a Yankee on there.
Perfect.
I think
What's that new thing that's everywhere?
So.
Kalshi?
I do want to watch him play.
They bet on everything.
Kyle Tucker will be a Yankee.
They
but I
do,
think
yeah.
I think this season's going to be off season's going to be like last off seasons, like a domino effect. They're going to wait to see which free agent falls first. And then I just don't know if it's going to be Schwarber or Tucker to see how much money they get. Obviously, different players. Schwarber's can't field. Tucker, you could put in the field. So I think it's going to be weird to see what teams do to see who waits to fall first.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting.
I would say
offseason. I'm
Schwarber
excited
because
for
he's also a three-headed monster.
All right, I'm screen recording this. This is being recorded, so we're going to have to put this in an edit.
I will say this right now. Kyle Tucker will hit a walk-off homer in Game 5 of the World Series to get us our first win.
He has the script, everyone.
This guy might go viral next year.
Bookmark this.
And I'm only saying this because Kyle Tucker is my favorite non-Yankee in the league. Ever since he was in Houston, I liked him.
That Jeff Passan tweet is going to hit so hard.
Jeff Passan.
What, the signing?
Yeah, he's going to at you, at Dominguez Lover.
New in October of 2025 where Kyle Tucker was going to go.
I think that's the rebrand, Kyle Tucker Lover.
Yeah, I know. You're going to have to be Tucker Lover.
I would change that.
If that happens, you need to rebrand.
100%.
Yeah.
I will. Yes, 100%. Kyle Tucker.
Even if Dominguez is still on the team, are you going to rebrand to Tucker Lover?
Yeah, I'll do that.
You have to. You have to.
Everyone on here knows.
That rebrand that you can't change.
Yeah.
Fine by me.
I'm ready for it.
That's equivalent to me and Cam. That's your brand. If you just predicted this, that's crazy.
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
You're going to be locked in with Kyle Tucker for life.
We're going to have to do an emergency podcast when it happens. We're just going to have to be like, oh my God, Kyle Tucker's a Yankee.
I can see it next year winning a chip.
With the Yankees, 100% re-sign Devin Williams. 100%.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because, first of all, I don't like what he said after we lost, saying we didn't meet our end goal, but we tied for the most wins in the American League. Dude, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Nobody
Yeah.
cares. But he also did say he ended up loving it here and becoming comfortable. So obviously, I think that played a big part in the beginning. Wasn't comfortable,
He grew to love it.
big city. Re-sign him. The way he was at the end of the season, re-sign him. The perfect setup guy to Bednar.
Yeah, I want him back
Re-sign.
really bad. I loved him. He finally started to smile. Look in the pictures. He's not mean mugging anymore.
And he kind of settled in once we got Bednar. I think he's a really good setup guy for Bednar. And we have Bednar for I don't know how long we have him for, but I know he's with us next year.
Yeah. I'll touch on this about Bednar. When we traded for him, I wasn't disappointed because I still wanted him, but the high leverage numbers scared me. Because when he was in Pittsburgh, his high leverage numbers were terrible. But I think he became one of the players that, when you're playing in New York, almost every game you're going into is going to be high leverage.
Yeah.
Instead of Pittsburgh, who's winning 70 games a year.
Yeah.
So I think he became one of those players that was able to embrace playing in high leverage every day, which I didn't think would be the case. But I think he's your closer. Solidified it.
Yeah.
Mads, can you pin that comment about Zach Neto, please? We need to talk about this for like a few minutes.
Which one?
That
Yeah,
one.
we're running short on time, but we can talk about it
Please.
quickly.
Zach Neto
for
is
Zach
my
Neto.
favorite non-Yankee, and I will preach this until I roll over in my grave. Get him in the Bronx. He's young, he's cute, and he can play his position the right way.
Zach
I have
Neto
been saying this.
Zach
Future
Neto will
Yankee.
never be traded because the Angels don't know how to run an organization well.
So that's why he would be traded, because they don't know how to run an organization, and we can see
They're not. No.
If they knew how to run an organization, Ohtani would have been traded immediately.
Free agency, then. That would be my first phone call. If I'm Brian Cashman, once he becomes available, I'm getting Zach Neto to the Bronx.
Well, there was reports of Cattell being made available, and if that's the case this offseason, 100% look into it.
Oh, well, that for sure. But Zach Neto in the Bronx would feed families. That would be generational.
Till he becomes
the bat
ass.
is there.
Till he becomes ass. Listen, I don't know. I feel like if it would make Alyssa happy, but I don't know how I feel about that one.
That would be the next Cam Schlittler moment. I promise.
Cam Schlittler. No, you have Cam. You can't bail. You think he's watching this?
No, maybe. I don't know.
Should I ask that question that we discussed before?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so the Max Fried enthusiast, I think his name is.
Experience.
Wants to know why you stole his flow and didn't give him any credit for it.
I'll just say I had no idea who you were until 2 days ago when you were mentioning me in all of your posts. That's fan behavior. Congratulations. Listen, I don't know why you're picking a fight with me. I'm really not mean. I don't know what to say. It's comical. You have that much time on your hands. I don't think I stole anything from you. Is
he here?
I don't know. He's not in my comments yet, so I don't know. Yeah, if you have a problem with me, I really don't care. It doesn't bother me. I didn't steal anything from you. And that's all I'll say on the matter. But Evan, I appreciate you asking the question.
A happy family. We're a big happy family of losers because we got booted out of the playoffs.
A big happy family of losers. I like that.
Embrace it.
I like that.
We gotta embrace it and all sing Kumbaya and be happy, because it's a very good song about rejoicing and happiness. Let's all enjoy football for the time being. And
Hockey.
not argue over nothing. Hockey, okay,
too.
sure. I'm going to the Bruins FC because that's where Cam is. I decided on my team. I'm going to Bruins FC.
Rangers all the way.
I haven't claimed the team yet. I literally haven't claimed the team yet. I don't watch that crap, but I'm going to now, and we in Bruins FC, so I gotta learn it.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm going to keep podcasting. So we'll keep talking about the Yankees. We'll keep talking about the offseason. we're out of time, but I just wanted to say thank you to you both for coming on.
Thank
It's
you.
always a pleasure.
Yep.
We're gonna have to run it back a different week, especially during the off season when everything's like in full swing. We'll have to come on here.
Oh,
We can talk
like
about
prime
trades and
signing
stuff.
season,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
I'll say this: we get more and more viewers every time we're on here, so I'm
I
happy
will be
for
back
you.
when Kyle Tucker becomes a Yankee with his
Yep,
jersey.
we will be back on the podcast when
That's
Kyle
screen
Tucker
recorder, by
becomes
the
a
way.
Yankee. This is screen recorded. It'll be on YouTube within the hour. So, yeah, thank you all for watching, and we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.